Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia and welcome back to the Overwatch League Roundup 2020 Team of Week 13. So, this week has been really chaotic in the Overwatch League, but there have been some really good players on the show. And especially in the supports, the flex support, and the echo player, the projectile player. They have generally been really good. So, we've got a Team of the Week here, we're going to go through it. And there's a few things that are a little bit different about this one. So, we're going to start off with the supports as always, and we're going to go to the Philadelphia Fusion and Alarm. But this is not Alarm in his normal flex support role. This is Alarm in the main support role now. He didn't play the Lucio all that much, although he did stall at one point. But we did see a lot of Alarm on the Brig or on the Zen, and I know it's not ideal to see someone of Alarm's caliber on Brig, but that's the way we are, you know, that's the times we live in. But he was paired alongside Boombox, who was on the Batiste. So, Alarm gets this spot this week. He was fantastic on the Zen, especially on Numbani. I think we'll all remember what he did on Numbani. I think he got a 3k as he was coming through the choke. I mean, it's just crazy. This player is so skilled, and he can play pretty much every blimmin' support there is, which is really crazy when you think about it. And Alarm goes in here. Alarm goes in here, absolutely. He was fantastic all week, but the flex support is going to be something we have never done before, because I'm going to give it to a player who was actually on the losing side for once, and this goes to the Paris Eternals fielder. So he was phenomenal. He was by far the best player in the match for Paris Eternal. He had the highest healing output in the match of anyone across the Philadelphia Fusion and the Paris Eternal. And to couple that with the fact that he was on his own in Korea playing with 200 ping in a team that he'd literally joined a couple of days ago, that is phenomenal. He played phenomenally. And if this is a taster of what's to come from Fielder, when he can properly join up with Paris, when he can probably get involved, then my goodness me, when this team synergizes with Fielder, Fielder's going to be darn good. Really good. If you don't know where he's come from, he's come in as a replacement for Cruz, who's now at the Toronto Defiant, and he is a player who used to be at GC Busan Wave in Korea. So, I think Edison used to be at GC Busan Wave at one point, but Fielder was really good, and he has pushed me to the point where I feel like he needed to make an exception and put a player from a losing team in the Team of the Week. So, well done to him. Well done to him. But an honourable mention is Shu of the Guangzhou Charge. I was really impressed with him in their win over the Seoul Dynasty. I think he was really good. But Fielder gets it. Congratulations, Fielder. And that's possibly the quickest time we will see from coming into the league to going into Team of the Week. I don't think we will see anything quite as quick as that ever again. But moving on to the tanks then, off tank. Now, I was papagering this out because I couldn't think of an off tank, and then I was kind of going to go with Void because Void was really good this week. But then I remembered that Philadelphia Fusion have Fury, and Fury was really good this week. Fury was back to his old ways. He, I believe, ate 3 pulse bombs from, I think it was either Nico or Soon. I think Nico was playing the Tracer for the Paris Eternal, and I think he ate 3 pulse bombs in 1 defense or something. He completely shut him down. Fury was back to his old ways. We know how Fury likes to eat, and Fury eats very well. There's no grabs on the field for him, but he eats. He makes sure he's healthy and he eats. So Fury this week was really good, and I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt here. But Void was a close second. Void was very good this week as well. He was getting incredible value for the Shanghai Dragons, especially obviously against the New York Excelsior who they played this week. And he was one of the main reasons why they were able to grind out that 3-2 win despite what New York excelled rumbling in the second part of that match. But sticking with the Shanghai Dragons, and main tank one was a tough one this week. I don't think anyone really stood out apart from Fearless. So it's Fearless again. Fearless 2 weeks in a row, which for a player who was 0-40, and I said this week, 0-40, said this last week, he was 0-40 in the inaugural season, and now he's spending 2 weeks in a row in Team of the Week in 2020. The team who is currently second in the league. So Fearless was getting crazy value against the New York Excelsior. He outplayed Mano a lot. Mano had a rough week, we can put it that way. And I think Fearless is the best looking main tank this week. No one else really impressed too much. Gushui was good for the Hangzhou Spark, but not as good as Fearless. Rio again had a decent week. We can give it to Gesture because Soul had just been so goddamn awful. Gamzu had a good week for the Dallas Fuel. Sado had a good week for the Philadelphia Fusion, but again, no one seemed to stick out as much as Fearless did. So I'm going to give it to Fearless again. And can someone please knock Fearless off his perch? Because at the moment, he is looking like the best main tank in the league. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. So next up, we have the projectile DPS, the utility DPS, which is mostly occupied by the Echo players this week. And it's kind of been boom or bust with Echo. We have seen some Echo players completely capitulate. Prophet, I'm looking at you. Who are you? I'm looking at you. Because some of their ult use was just horrific. It was not good from those two players, really. But Prophet especially. Prophet was bad. And don't say that very often. But on the flip side, there was some really, really good Echo players. Really good Echo players. You can see some people have been grinding it. Some people have been on the bench for a long time and grinding it. So I've actually got 3 players listed here, and I know who I'm going to go for. But first, the honourable mentions is Nero of the Guangzhou Charge. He was really good, completely outclassed Prophet and the Soul Dynasty while on that Echo against them. And realistically, I'm starting to wonder whether there's much that Nero can't play. He's very, very good on a lot of heroes. And that's testament to his very varied hero pool, because we know we used to go a lot down the route of having specialized people. I mean, used to have specialized Widowmakers and all that. But with the hero pools as they are now, with the introduction of hero pools as a whole, you need to be flexible. And you can see now teams coming out on top that have the flexibility, like the Philadelphia Fusion, like the Shanghai Dragons. And Nero is an embodiment of flexibility, and that's why Guangzhou Charge have done so well. And are actually taking a lot of the big teams quite close, even though they're perhaps not getting the wins, but they are taking a lot of the big teams close on a lot of matches, and that goes for Shanghai and New York. They've had very good displays against those teams, despite what the scorelines will tell you. So I think Nero is actually really, really good, and he wouldn't be out of place on a team like Philadelphia Fusion. But moving on, I want to mention Adora of the Hangzhou Spark. I'm not going to lie, I have never been, well, this season I haven't been a massive fan of the DPS line of the Hangzhou Spark. But this week, Adora was fantastic on the Echo. I am not going to lie. Whether that's because he was up against Prophet of the Hangzhou Spark, notice that it's Nero and Adora, both who went up against the Soul Dynasty this week. But Adora was really, really good. He was getting really, really good value once again, and I think he had a really good display. But I don't think there's anyone who quite got value like EQO did. EQO, this is his, I think, debut back this year in the DPS role. We have seen him a tiny little bit in support on Bogita, but we really haven't seen much of EQO at all this year. He came back, he's been grinding that Echo, and it shows. He was really, really good. I really can't name a better Echo player this weekend than EQO. He was just so good. The duplicates were on point. He was duplicating the tanks, he was duplicating supports if he needed it, but tanks mainly, the Winston mainly, because we saw a lot of dive obviously, and he was getting, unlike a lot of other players, he was getting crazy amount of value out of his base abilities, out of his tri-shot, out of his sticky bombs, out of his beam. He was getting crazy value out of that. I think at the moment he has to be the best Echo player in the league. EQO has seriously impressed this week. Seriously impressed. But moving on to the hit scan, there are 2 players I've got on my list here. So Decay and Dallas Fuel. Decay is always very good. Decay had a fantastic week once again for the Dallas Fuel. But I am going to give it to the Valiant. I'm going to give it to Shax, because I think Shax made all the difference for the Valiant. I think he was actually better than Apply was, because Apply was playing the Echo. We saw Shax a lot on his comfort pick of the Tracer and the Reaper, and he was getting really good value. And he was the main reason, in my opinion, that the LA Valiant were able to turn around that 2-0 deficit and beat the Atlanta Reign 3-2, a team that on paper they shouldn't be beating. Let's be honest. If we went into this week thinking that Atlanta Reign would win that, and they didn't. And Shax was definitely a standout player for that Valiant team this weekend. So the decision to play Shax and Apply was very much vindicated from the Valiant coaches, and I applaud them for that. We have seen a lot of KSP and KSF from the Valiant, but Shax has come in recent weeks and really laid down the law in that DPS line. And when you look at the DPS line of the Valiant, I think it is extremely underrated. I actually think the DPS line of the Valiant could be on a par, if not better than the Dallas Fuel, because the Dallas Fuel have got 2 DPS players. I actually think the Valiant have got 4 DPS players, all of which could be starting for the Valiant. So it is very interesting. They've got a very, very varied and deep pool of DPS players. But Shax really stood out this week, and I'm going to give it to him. So to round this out, the whole team is Alarm, Fielder, Fury, Fearless, EQO, and Shax. There is a lot of Fs in there. I've just realised that. Fielder, Fury, Fearless. Fielder, Fury, Fearless. Fielder, Fury, Fearless. Keep saying that. Anyway, that is it for Team of the Week for Week 13. Obviously, coming up next in the Overwatch League Roundup will be the meta preview for next week, which is going to be spicy. We've got a hero that has been banned for the first time, and we're going to see a hero banned that perhaps a lot of people don't like anyway. It's not May. Don't think it's May. It's not May, if you haven't seen it, unfortunately. And also there are changes, obviously, to the hero pools coming this week anyway. And after that, we will take a look ahead at the 11 fixtures, I believe, that we're going to see for Week 14, including the return of the London Spitfire, finally, and the Vancouver Titans, whatever Vancouver Titans we end up seeing this weekend, because currently, at time of recording, they don't have an off-tank. But Vancouver Titans. We'll see what happens. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.